So I recently discovered this channel called Cirky, and they make creepy animations in Source Filmmaker. Now, if you don't know what Source Filmmaker is, it's an animation program, kind of like, I guess you could compare it to Blender, but it's made by Valve, who are the same people that made the Source engine, which is an engine that runs a bunch of really big games like Half-Life, Team Fortress, Counter-Strike's probably the biggest, Dota, etc, etc. But one other game that's actually also pretty popular, especially on this channel, is Garry's Mod. Now, Garry's Mod is not made by Valve, but it does run on the Source engine. And that's one of the reasons why animations that are made in Source Filmmaker, they kind of give off the Garry's Mod vibe. Now it turns out this person has been making a bunch of like creepypasta Source Filmmaker animations. I haven't checked any of them out, even though this video is all the way red. I haven't actually watched it, trust, but we're gonna be watching it. It's called the Copycats, and that thumbnail looks pretty scary. Make sure y'all check out this channel down below as well. Show them some love because they have a bunch of videos. This is just the first one I'm gonna be checking out.
Nobody remembers when they appeared.
Oh, it has narration.
Some think they have been here since the beginning of time and space, or at least since the first human existed.
Whoa.
Others think they came into existence more recently.
Stay inside.
I personally don't care where they come from.
Dude, why is the narration so good? All right, I'm already into this. Like, I don't even want to be talking too much, but I can't help myself. I'm gonna be talking throughout this entire video. So the title of this creepypasta is literally called the Copycats. So I'm assuming these creatures, they're copying humans, but they look a little bit off doing it.
They came into existence more recently.
Stay inside.
I personally don't care where they come from or how they got here.
Stay inside.
I only really care about keeping myself alive.
Whoa. All right, I thought maybe they're friendly, but you gotta actually worry about staying alive. So I'm assuming if you get killed by a copycat, he copies you. That's what makes the most sense. Also, this one kind of looks like a scarecrow. I think this would work pretty well as a scarecrow. What do y'all think?
The copycats. That's what we call them. Most of the time, they look almost human, trying to copy the appearances of their last victims. I say almost, because they often appear as tall as the streetlights, or have big, bulging eyes and smiles with too many teeth. Some of them can speak, too, sort of as a way to lure us out.
Yo, that's like my favorite trope in like horror stories. Whenever a creature can mimic humans. Siren Head does it. You got the Mimicker in Minecraft. I don't know why the Minecraft creepypastas are the first ones that come up in my mind. But there's a bunch of other like horror stories where you have mimics. And I like it, dude. Put it in my veins right now, bro. But not in real life. Let's just say, if you're my buddy and you somehow convince me to go out in the woods at night and I can't see you anymore, and I hear you saying, "Oh, hey, Dark, I'm over here. Come over here." I'm leaving you in the woods. So don't even play around.
In reality, most of them aren't really talking, just reusing things they hear before their victims die.
Oh, that's sick.
Someone help me, please.
Their mouths never move when they speak.
So where does the sound come from?
They never move an inch when they do.
Where
But
does the
those who
sound come
can
from?
speak don't sound human. They speak in tongues with deep voices that sound gentle, masking their violent natures, calling out for their victims, asking them to accept their fates, to finally accept death and come to them, the Reapers.
Kids,
Reapers?
come out of your room.
They like to live in dark spaces, areas where you can't tell if they're human or not. Basements, alleyways, anywhere with a shadow to conceal them.
All right, so basements, alleyways, which are locations you shouldn't be in the first place, even if there are no copycats. If you ever find yourself in an alleyway or in a basement, stop and think to yourselves, what am I doing here? What is in this funky alleyway for me to be here? Same thing with basement. I'm sorry, if you have a basement in your house and it's not one of those basements that has like a window and stuff, so there's actually light coming in, just fill it with concrete. Just fill it up. Just get somebody, come in and fill it with like liquid concrete that hardens so you don't have a basement anymore. Oh, but Dark, we use the basement for storage. You're storing creatures in the basement. You just don't know it yet.
The feds say to keep every corner in the house or in my case, apartment, bright.
I know what you're thinking. Hold on. Ain't that the dude from Skibbity? No, so this actually is male 7 from Skibbity Toilet, but I'm gonna give y'all some lore. This is a player model from the game Half-Life 2. Now, in Source Filmmaker and even Gary's mod, you can import the characters from Half-Life 2 to use them in your animations, which is what happened in Skibbity Toilet. It's been more than a year since I posted anything Skibbity Toilet related, and here I am dropping some behind the scenes information like I'm making a Skibbity documentary. So yeah, this guy isn't Skibbity Toilet, but the OG is Half-Life 2, all right? And this is also our narrator. So this right here is the person that's talking in this story. So all these copycats showed up, but you know, life still has to continue. So we kind of know how to stay safe from them, but we don't know where we are in like the timeline. I don't know how long the copycats have been here.
And to make sure all doors or windows are locked. Because once they get in, anyone inside will never come back out.
Yo, that's a dark room.
I was sure that my apartment was safe, that I could live there forever. But recently, people have been running low on food. They have to risk going outside, opening the doors and letting the monsters in.
Ooh.
Forced to run through the masses of inhuman faces that flood the streets, growing as restless as we are. I see some of the braver people sometimes out my window. I see them running through the streets, only to be devoured by the copycats who fight over the scraps of the bodies.
What would you do?
It's been weeks now. I'm almost out of food. I'm pretty sure the other people in my apartment building have died, either of starvation or by running into the copycats.
Honestly, what would you do in this situation? What's the best course of action? You'd have to work together, right? I mean, the good thing about these copycats is that you can kind of tell, well, you can tell that they're copycats because they don't look, the proportions ain't proportioning, if you know what I mean. So I would think the best course of action would be to work together. Like he said, all the other people in his apartment building, they're probably dead, but why didn't everybody in the apartment building like work together, block off the hallways, put down lights, like have multiple apartments, make teams to go out and get food, that kind of stuff? At least that's how it works in like movies and video games, but who knows how it would go in real life. I mean, real life is crazy, bro. Like,
I've noticed that the lights have been flickering in the apartments, and that the rent forms have stopped coming in.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean the rent forms? You were still paying your rent during a world crisis like this? This is what's wrong with capitalism, guys. If we, you know what? When these copycats showed up, I want to bet there were a bunch of people wondering, how can we charge them interest?
I don't know if anyone else is alive. I don't know how long I'm going to last in this hell.
Yo.
Some people might say I'm the lucky one, surviving this long. Personally, I think it's hell. Watching as people I love die, as the world around me dies, as this new race of monsters climbs its way to the top of the food chain, wiping us out in the process.
Yo, that is actually scary though. Imagine not knowing if you're the last person alive. Dude, you know what the worst thing would be? I'm guessing when the first copycats, they start showing up, life would probably still be normal. Everybody would be wondering, like, what are these things? Are they friendly? Like, people would be wondering, trying to figure stuff out, but life would still have to continue. People would still go to work. People would still do shopping, that kind of stuff, you know? And then slowly, stuff starts going crazy, you know? The copycats start killing people. We try to figure out, like, okay, how do we prevent that? How do we take them down? They're too strong, etc., etc., etc. And then, you know, things start happening, like stores don't open, places are looted, factories close down because nobody's coming into work, because why would they? The flipping copycats are out there. And then what about TV? You know, suddenly your favorite shows don't run anymore because there's nobody running them. The talk shows stop airing. Freaking the news. I think the news is the last thing to go, right? Suddenly no more news every day. No more breaking news. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, I'm knocking on wood right now because I hope nothing like this ever happens.
I'm keeping this journal in case I'm not the only one. In case there are others out there who somehow managed to survive against these monsters. In case someone finds me, dead or alive.
Day 1. Oh, I'm rocking with this.
Stay inside.
I can't do anything but keep the doors locked and keep my neighbor's shotgun at my side, though I doubt that gun will do anything against them. From what I remember from the news, the military tried to use tanks against them,
That didn't
barely
work.
making a dent in the Copycats' numbers before being consumed by the freaks.
Wait, hold on. The first thing they tried using was a tank? Wait. It's kind of overkill, no? I feel like a regular pistol? First, well, you know, actually, first thing you should try is maybe talk to him. Oh, well, that didn't work.
I managed to get into a few apartments and snag some food, but I was almost caught by one of the monsters that got in during the food runs. They know I'm here now.
Do you stay in the apartment building? Okay, day 2.
I saw one of my neighbors today, or I guess whatever saw them last.
Oh,
I remember that she was a nice old woman with kind, caring eyes and always helped other tenants with groceries.
but now?
The kind of neighbor who would show up to your door when you first move in with a plate of cookies in hand. Now she was different.
Stay away from me.
Forced to become one of the worst disguises that I've ever seen a copycat use. I ran the other way when I saw her.
Oh my god! Is that how they move? No, I understand why they use tanks. I'm giving this guy a week.
Now, but I can still hear it shuffling around outside. I'm gonna wait another day before I go back out.
He's stuck in somebody else's apartment. That sucks.
It was waiting. It wasn't moving. It wasn't breathing. It was just standing there, waiting for the door to open. How the hell does something stay alive that long? Over 24 hours without a single breath of air. I guess I should count myself lucky that I was able to shut the door.
Wait, how does he know it wasn't breathing?
It's angry now. I can hear it screaming. I managed to hide in the bathroom before I heard the sound of shattering wood. It's in the apartment now.
Dude, he's stuck in the apartment for like 4 days now. Or like 3
I
days.
managed to sneak out through the window. Luckily, I was high enough to be out of reach from the flood of copycats on the street. I almost fell several times,
Oh, that got me.
but I made it back to my apartment without dying.
At this point, just die, bro. Honestly. That's crazy. He's going through all that stuff and he's just barely hanging on. He's barely surviving. Like he went through all that just to find some food in his apartment building.
The food started to rot.
Oh no.
I was trying to scavenge, sneaking around the hidden in the hallway, and found a couple cans of food. Nothing special. Just some loosely screwed shut jars of beans, tomatoes, and peaches. Fueled by hunger, I opened one and was immediately hit by the smell. It was horrible, like the smell of an egg after being microwaved until it was burned.
It's canned food though.
I don't know how long I can keep this up.
Canned food should be good.
I'm all out of food. The hallways aren't safe, and it's not like I'd risk going through the window again. All I can do now is wait to die from either the copycats or starvation.
Oh, I feel bad for him, guys. I don't know if I do any better than him in this
Since
situation.
I'm probably gonna die here, I think it might be helpful to make a list of as many copycats as I can. How they look, how they act, stuff like that. First off are the hidden. If you remember the neighbor I ran into earlier, they're like that. Barely humanoid figures that hide in the shadows to distract from their appearance.
Ugh.
Can someone help me?
Imitating loud noises drag out those who it's hunting. They are usually extremely disfigured, most of them having a permanent smile on their face, and stands at heights from 6 feet all the way up to 10 feet tall.
Dang.
They can put themselves into some sort of self-induced hibernation of sorts,
He's looking straight
where
at
their
me.
bodies cease any and all activity. This can last for an undetermined amount of time. The longest I've seen this happen for was a day. I think that they do this to trick their prey out of hiding.
Okay.
Next are the muttering.
The muttering.
They look almost the same as the hidden, albeit smaller.
Okay, I was saying before how you can kind of tell that the copycats are copycats, but that's before I found out that there's different kinds of copycats. This one, imagine if he puts his hands behind his back and you're in an alleyway. This one would fool you. So I take that back. Nah, this is okay. Woo! Honestly, I wouldn't even make it past like day 3, I think. This guy went out of the window and climbed up a building. I'd be like, you know what? My toxic trait would be thinking that I could actually talk to the monster. Okay? My final resort wouldn't be climbing out of the window to get to my apartment. My final resort will be talking to these creatures. Or maybe I can pretend to be the creature. Ah! That was dumb. Editor, cut that out.
Only growing to around 7 feet max. They have noticeably less disfiguration, especially around their mouth, and don't hide in the shadows as much as the hiddens do.
This one looks like
Instead,
a human.
They usually stand motionless, constantly repeating the words of their victims, waiting for someone to see them. If you see something standing and talking like this, and can't tell if it's a person or not, listen to what they are saying.
Oh boy.
Most of the time, a muttering's voice will change depending on what it's saying, or screaming. Common things said by mutterings are,
Help me.
Please.
And?
Don't hurt me.
Okay.
Stay away from me.
So that's the victim's final words.
or
they're
they
like
will just
robotic.
stand there and scream for around 20 to 30 minutes.
Because that's what the victims were doing.
The third kind are what I like to call stalkers. They're some of the most dangerous of the copycats. They grow to around 6 feet tall and can go weeks without eating.
What is that?
They hide behind doors, completely still and motionless.
That's not a human.
And strike the moment the door opens. They don't have legs and walk around on their hands when they need to.
What?
If you think you might be trapped by a stalker, I recommend finding anything long and sharp. It might take a few tries, but you should try to stab through the door until you hear it shriek. They normally run away after that.
Wait, so are the stalkers like the... Are they copycats before they copy somebody? What are the stalkers? Hold on, I feel like the stalkers are a bigger problem than the copycats, right?
I'm getting tired. I might write some more in the morning.
All right, hold on. I'm kind of an optimistic dude. So think about it. Imagine this world crisis. Imagine if we get through it. Okay, we somehow beat the copycats. Somehow. Now, if you were one of the people that survived, and you wrote a journal during that time, I'm gonna assume copyright law still applies even during a crisis like that. But think about how many copies you could sell, dude. You'd be the person that documented the copycat apocalypse. You'd be rich. Okay, maybe capitalism got me. Day
One of
10.
them got in again. I think it crawled in from the window.
No.
I haven't seen anything like this. It's tall. It has to crawl to be able to fit in the apartment.
It's something
Not
else.
much bigger than the one disguised as my neighbor. It's talking too. Not random snippets or sentences, but full-fledged statements. I heard about these in the earlier days, mostly rumors, short stories writing about them. I thought they were fake, publicity stunts by people trying to become famous. But this is real. A behemoth of a monster staring me in the face. I can just barely make out some of its words.
All right, now the question is this thing also copying other people's words, or is this thing actually communicating? I guess we're about to find out. Also, what's that thing he said about people making up short stories? So you're telling me when the copycats showed up, people were already trying to sell their stories? So maybe my idea kind of sucks because people are already doing it.
Why do you wait here? What is it that fuels you? We have been watching you all this time. We have been keeping track of every move. You will never escape. This
Dang.
is your prison.
Dang.
These halls are your cell.
Oh my god.
At any moment, any split second,
Those are bars.
we could destroy you. The instant you stop being of interest to us.
Hey. I mean, usually these monsters, they kill the people they run into, right? But now this one tells me that they kind of have an interest in me. If that doesn't make you feel like the main character, if that doesn't make you feel like an interesting person, I don't know what will. So guess what? Maybe talking to them would have been the right move, right? Because then they'd be like, what the frick? Did this guy just try talking to us? Guys, don't copy him yet. We gotta study this dude.
So every second, you better be moving, because the second you stop is the second that the thoughts you engrave in the little book you so desperately scribble in. Stop.
Huh.
And with those words, it left. It didn't attack.
Whoa, what
it
is
didn't
that
kill
about?
me. It crawled right back out of the window. I don't know how much time I have left,
Is that a warning?
but I think I should focus less on writing all this down and more on finding out how to get out of here.
Oh, that's the ending? That's the ending? Oh my god, I was so into it. This was actually a very immersive animation. So this is the person that actually wrote the story, Robert Scream, and there is actually a part 2. So it does continue. Oh man, it says, "Hello reader. If there is anyone around to read this old journal in this wasteland, I want to say that no, I'm not the man who previously owned this journal, although I find his story quite interesting. Unfortunately, as you can probably tell, he didn't last long outside of his apartment." Everybody comment, have to pay your respects right now. Alright, this animation actually surprised me. This was so freaking good. And there's a bunch of other videos that you guys can check out down below in the description. And if y'all see any that you want me to react to, please let me know and I might just do that. Anyways, thanks for watching and go check out these other videos.